What if I told you that the first great technology in human history wasn't the wheel, not fire, not metal, not even writing? What if the first great technology was an idea? 12,000 years ago, a structure built in southeastern Turkey still whispers the same question to us today. Was what kept people together really survival? Or was it something much more powerful? Look at the world around you. The systems humanity has built now extend to every corner of the planet. Millions of strangers live within the same systems, without ever knowing each other. And we were told only one story about the birth of civilization. First survival, then agriculture, then cities, finally temples, a logical progression. But what if we've misunderstood what drove humanity to civilization all along? 12,000 years ago, in southeastern Turkey, people achieved the impossible. They erected massive stone pillars, some weighing over 20 tons, covered in complex animal figures. These pillars were precisely arranged, meticulously planned, and built to last forever. But there is a contradiction here that defies all textbooks. This was before writing, before metal tools, before the wheel, and most surprisingly, it was before agriculture. How can you build a cathedral without building a house? How can you organize thousands of people without having a steady food supply? History had no answer for this. But perhaps we were asking the wrong question, because the mystery of Göbekli Tepe was never how it was built. The mystery was why anyone built it at all. And the answer to that question can explain not only the past, but the world we live in today. For most of history, survival was enough. Find food, avoid predators, protect your tribe. Repeat. At some point, humanity began to produce not just to survive, but to find meaning. We painted caves. We buried our dead with ceremony. We created symbols. Long before humanity learned to master nature, it learned to build realities from belief. Göbekli Tepe is the manifestation of this shift. It wasn't a village. It was a pilgrimage site. It was a place where strangers traveled across vast, unforgiving geographies to gather under the same stars. Think about the human cost. No king commanded them, no government taxed them, no army forced them. Yet they came. They traveled through the wilderness. They moved mountains. They sacrificed their labor for something they couldn't touch, for a vision. If they weren't building to survive, they were building for something else. Perhaps meaning is the invisible architecture of human existence, and they were the first to manifest it in stone. This brings us to the center of the paradox. For decades, archaeologists have debated the temple status of this site. Perhaps the real secret of Göbekli Tepe wasn't hidden in the stones. The stones were just the visible structure. The real invention was the invisible system that could unite hundreds of people around the same meaning. Göbekli Tepe was a mechanism for synchronizing human consciousness. Imagine hundreds of strangers coming from different tribes, speaking different dialects, gathering in a circle. They are looking at the same symbols, participating in the same highly specific rituals. And at that moment, something profound happens. Hundreds of separate lives meet within a single shared story. People are no longer just sharing the same space. They are beginning to share the same meaning. Their individual minds align with the collective rhythm. In this sense, Göbekli Tepe was not merely a construction project. It was a system for aligning collective consciousness. It allowed humans to act as a single, coordinated organism. They didn't need a written law to act as a whole. They had a shared story. They discovered that if you change the way a person perceives the world, you can change their actions in it. Before they knew how to grow wheat, they learned how to grow identity. Food keeps a body alive, but it cannot create civilization. Civilizations need a reason to sacrifice and to belong, a reason to look beyond the next sunrise. These first people at Göbekli Tepe weren't building shelters to protect themselves from the rain. They were building a shelter against the void. For the first time, large groups of unrelated individuals saw themselves as part of something greater than their tribe, greater than their own survival efforts. This was the moment we discovered our greatest power, the ability to unite around a common, abstract idea. Once this happened, cities, religions, and empires became inevitable, because the moment people share a story, they begin sharing a future. They cease to be merely biological beings and become a cultural force. 12,000 years have passed. The pillars were buried, but the idea that raised them lived on. Today, we don't gather around stone circles but around glowing screens. We don't carve symbols into limestone, we project them into the digital ether. The forms have changed, but the mechanism is the same. Brands, flags, currencies, political movements, digital communities. All of them depend on the same invisible force, collective belief. We are still participants in the same ritual. We still align ourselves with the stories we create. And perhaps even today, we still live within the same invisible circle. Historians call Göbekli Tepe a temple. Archaeologists call it a monument. But perhaps it was something much more powerful. Perhaps it was the first machine ever built to transform human consciousness. A place where strangers turned into a community. And if that is true, then the most powerful technology humanity ever created was never the wheel, nor the steam engine, nor the computer. Humanity's most powerful technology was the ability of strangers to see themselves as part of the same story. 12,000 years ago, our ancestors gathered around stone pillars in search of meaning. Today, we gather around screens for the same reason. The symbols changed, the technology changed, the world changed. But the human desire to belong to something greater than oneself never changed. And perhaps this was the greatest secret Göbekli Tepe left us. Civilizations were not built on stones. They were built on the meanings people shared. Perhaps what built them was the human desire to belong and find meaning. The stones of Göbekli Tepe may lie silently under the ground today, but the power that raised them never disappeared. It just changed form. And as we think we are living in the modern age, perhaps we are still part of the story that began in those stone circles thousands of years ago. The choice is yours, because the past never truly ended. It just continued to live within new symbols, new stories, and new screens. This is ArcheoTech. We are decoding ancient engineering. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video for more content like this. Have a great day, and take great care of yourself.